better performance keeps the Mac Mini a topic for podcasters and content creators. The newly released Mac Mini with M2/M2 Pro is a dream come true. 14 times faster than the fastest Intel-based Mac Mini. Whoa, this is a good deal for your money and relatively cheap for a device like that. Carl Conrad versus Brian Tong. If you're ready, let's go watch.
Hey guys, it's Carl. So this is the brand new Mac Mini with M2 or M2 Pro. Second video that dropped of Apple's new stuff. My first one was the 16-inch MacBook Pro with the M2 Pro, M2 Max. I'll leave it linked up this way. Your choice of which video to watch. But the Mac Mini, when it was introduced with M Silicon, so the M1, it's actually right over my shoulder, right this way. I thought that was some serious value, a really low-key sleeper in the lineup. The same thing remains for the Mac Mini this year. So the base level with the M2 starts off at $599 or $799 Canadian. I know our dollar is a bit skewed. That is some awesome value for what you're getting inside. Obviously, you need an external monitor, keyboard, mouse, etc., but most of us have that. My specific spec is the M2 Pro, 512 gigs of storage, 16 gigs of RAM. This is over $1,200, and I think that big jump between the M2 and the M2 Pro just isn't worth it. My recommended spec, stick to the base level, so M2, upgrade the RAM, 8 gigs to 16. Apple still somehow charges $200 or $250 Canadian to upgrade from 8 gigs of RAM to 16, which I think is just downright crazy. Stick to the base level storage and get an external hard drive. As this computer will sit at your desk, it's cheaper to just upgrade without paying for the Apple tax for extra RAM, for extra storage. So definitely my recommended spec, but we'll get to an unboxing in case this is the first time that you're seeing. So the Mac Mini comes in the two colors still, so either the silver or the space gray, which you kind of see behind me and inside of the box. We've got the Mac Mini up top with a nice little black pull tab, and underneath designed by California in Apple. If that's the first time you're seeing this here on the channel, Mac Mini instructions and a silver Apple sticker, so that will match in correspondence to either the silver or the space gray. And underneath that, we just have the standard power cable. So just remember that the Mac Mini doesn't come with any extra accessories. So if you still want to buy a Magic Keyboard, if you want to buy a Magic Mouse, which I would still kind of stay away from, just grab like a Logitech MX Master. This little guy is a lot better for the same price. It's more ergonomic and you can actually use it when it's plugged in. It's a wonder how Apple hasn't replaced that Magic Mouse yet. I think it's a strange one. And when we look around the I/O, just pulling off that black piece of plastic, you can see what we've got. So of course, power, you've got Ethernet, the 4 USB-C ports, HDMI, and 2 classic USB-A with, of course, the good old headphone jack on the back. And you know it's a Mac Mini as it says it in black on the bottom. So this actually has a very similar form factor to the Mac Studio. And the key difference here is actually just the overall chunkiness or the width. Some of the I/O is different as well, but you can kind of see it has that same form factor that we've kind of seen for years now from Apple. Obviously, the Mac Studio is a little bit dated now as it has the previous gen M1 Max chip, which if you kind of rank that on a scale, the M1 Max is still better than the M2 Pro. That's the same for their MacBook Pro lineup. So if you already own a keyboard mouse display combo and just want to upgrade to the new M2 for $599, that is an absolute steal. Even the M2 Pro, if you're willing to spend that extra money, a lot of people look at Mac Minis and think they're just suited for light day-to-day tasks. I mean, for $599 for a student, that's a great price. But even with the M2 Pro, you can handle multiple streams of 4K footage. I'm doing that over on my M2 Pro on my MacBook Pro. A lot of pro lingo, but there is some serious firepower behind this. So I'll get this kind of paired with my studio display and kind of run through this little device. And just with literally 2 cables, so one from the studio display, one from the Mac Mini, we have a fully functional setup. So obviously you can choose to go the Apple route, get the Magic Keyboard, get the little trackpad. Like I said, just get the Logitech MX Master instead of the Magic Mouse. This is a super potent combo, and I know that it technically isn't super mobile. I know that you can theoretically put this in your backpack, bring it to, say, a studio, bring it to a different location. Sure, it's easy, but you're not gonna haul around everything with you every single time. So definitely for a home use or one, I guess, standard location. And with this, I actually edited this video, the one that you're watching, on this Mac Mini. I was actually fooling around before I started recording this. The timeline was literally buttery smooth. I could edit this 4K video. I think we had 2 streams, so the B-roll cam plus the A-roll, all of the extra clips. It literally felt like I was on my 16-inch MacBook Pro with M1 Max chip. We're getting to that point of, I wouldn't say diminishing returns, but the power of Apple Silicon is just so good. There's really nothing in this space for $600 that kind of competes with this level. So even if you are getting into the PC space, that's technically around the budget level, $600, you cannot be editing 4K video. You can't do extreme Photoshop work. So honestly, it just offers some great value. And often the Mac Mini is overlooked because everyone wants a laptop, the MacBook Air, the MacBook Pro. But if you are able to get by in a desktop setup, yes, you need those extra accessories. I wouldn't say that you have to spend $1,000 for the studio display or even the Pro Display XDR if you want to be super baller. You can still get by with just a $200-300 monitor. Obviously, maybe it doesn't look as good. You don't get the aluminum finishing to match, but that's kind of up to you. So anyways, that's kind of your first look at the brand new 2023 Mac Mini with M2/M2 Pro. I'll try to use it a bit more. I know that I've got multiple devices to compare this to. If you want to see a comparison between this and the new 16-inch with M2 Pro, let me know. I'll definitely do some more in-depth testing. I'll try to use this as my main studio editing rig. I know that I've got a bit of travel coming up in the next month, so I'll probably be bringing my 16-inch MacBook Pro, but studio use, I'll let you know my thoughts, my full review coming up soon. Just remember my recommended spec: base level, upgrade the RAM to 16 gigs, get an external hard drive, and you are good to go. I'll catch the rest of you in one of my next vids. Peace.
Now, let's listen to Brian Tang.
What's up, friends and family? Brian Tong here, and this in front of me is the new M2 or M2 Pro Mac Mini for 2023. This is actually an M2 Pro, and Apple again has provided this for me to unbox and review, and it will be going right back to them. So don't worry, I don't get to keep these things, all right? But here we go. Let's just jump into this and do the unboxing for this new Mac Mini. The thing about this is that when I got it, actually, I guess I should just do a little tear. Hold on. I don't know. Something about that is always so satisfying, right? All right. So this model that they've supplied me with has an M2 Pro inside. Can you beat that? No. Come on. It's always fun to reveal and open these things, all right? Mac Mini. Got the little pull tab. And here it is. If I felt like it, I would just remove this completely. This is like the plastic covering on a sofa. I take it off. You should take it off too, but you can do that. But let's actually reveal the nice part about this is I'm just gonna take it all off. Who cares? Let's listen. Ooh. This reminds me like when you do that to TVs with that plastic edge here. I'm gonna pull this here. Woo! It's all good. All right, so here's the Mac Mini. Literally same design. Previous generations, nothing new to report per se. I guess what's different about this one compared to an M2 versus an M2 Pro, I believe this one weighs 0.2 more pounds. So the M2 model is 2.6 pounds, and this one I believe is 2.8 pounds. If I said that wrong, someone can just correct me online like you always do anyways. But you have here all the different ports. You have the power port. You have the Ethernet port, which can be upgraded to a 10 gigabit Ethernet. On the M2 Pro model, you actually have 4 USB-C Thunderbolt 4 ports. You got the HDMI that supports HDMI 2.1. This specific bad boy can support also up to a single 8K display at 60 hertz, a single 4K display at up to 240 hertz refresh rate, and then also it supports multiple displays up to 3 at once at different various resolutions and refresh rates. Then you have your 2 USB-A ports, and then your audio connection directly for speakers. This is still a very, very classy machine. Let's go over here and bring in our friend here. We have the black power cable, so look, no surprise here. I'm not going to unwrap it for you all, even though some of you want me to. In the packaging here, we also have the Mac Mini manuals. Do we have? Oh, do we have stickers? This is the silver version. I'm assuming silver sticker right here. I know with the M2 Max with the MacBook Pro, the sticker was black. So the Mac Mini here, this is a silver sticker. All right, stickers. Now the other thing to talk about here that makes this interesting is this is obviously with the new M2 Pro. So processing wise, you're getting a 20% boost in CPU performance, 30% boost in GPU performance, 40% boost in AI through the neural engine. But the thing that I want to talk about is, I'm going to put this through its tasks, really find out, okay, M2 Pro machine versus an M2 Max machine. This has been loaded with, this is the 10-core CPU. Sorry, this is the fully loaded 12-core CPU for the M2 Pro, 19-core GPU, and then it has 32 gigs of RAM for this model. But what's really enticing about this whole lineup is starting the entry-level Mac Mini with an M2 at $599. That is a killer value for anyone who's doing normal computing like emailing, surfing the web browsing. Oh, that's the same thing. Word processing, doing some photos. You can still be fully capable of doing video editing. This is right now has to be, at least the entry-level model of the Mac Mini has to be the best value that you can get for a computer. Absolutely. So that's going to be something to look at. But this model fully loaded, again, if you fully spec this guy out, and you put, this can go up to, for the Pro model, 1 terabyte, 2 terabyte, 4 terabyte, 8 terabytes of storage. So let's say you go the high-end processor for the M2 Pro, which is the 12 CPU, 19 core GPU, which is this. You get the 32 gigs of RAM, you get the 8 terabyte hard drive, and then you also get a 10 gigabit Ethernet port. That like top level one is going to cost you $4,499 before Apple Care, before shipping and tax. So this is one of those things where you kind of got to think to yourself, do I want to stick with the M2 or then maybe jump up to a Mac Studio? That's why we're going to run all these tests. I have all these video projects to run through to really find out where these different processors rank in general performance. I mean, the RAM will help it in ways, but you'll get a really good idea of how good this is. But there you go, your first look, your first feel. The metal is still cold. Am I trying to smell it? Yeah, because new things smell good. They always do.
Thanks for watching. If this video was helpful, like, subscribe, and share for more videos like this. I'm ICJ, and this is Amiable Media. Catch you in the next one.